Hey everybody, welcome to another talking time-lapse video with your buddy Josh Davenport. As always, can't thank them enough. This video is brought to you by the folks supporting the comic and these videos on patreon.com. Patreon.com/Josh Davenport. Go by, check it out, sign up, and throw a few shekels in the bucket. Help me keep the ship rolling down the highway. Because that's a perfect metaphor. Ships always be on the highway. I want to go ahead and thank the folks that are already supporting over on Patreon. Brandon, Dan, Vivian, and Matt, thank you all very much for your continued patronage. Today we are talking over the time-lapse video for RGBros Dark Matter. This one is based on some true-life events. If you read the blog post for that day, you'll know that I recently purchased a carpet cleaning machine on super sale on Amazon. I can't remember if it was like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or whatever, but got one of those. And I haven't fully cleaned all the carpet in my house with it yet, but I did, thanks to my good buddy Lucy the dog, got a chance to try it out shortly after I got it because she decided that it was a good time to take a dump right on the floor. If you got a dog, you've probably run into that problem before. And typically, what I would do, in the past is, clean it up, get some spot spray down there and, hit it with a little bit of that, wipe it up, toss it all in a bin, and be done with it. But I have this new fancy machine now, and I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to clean this up. So, tried it out, ran over that part of the carpet, some other parts of the carpet, because we haven't cleaned the carpet, fully deep cleaned it since we moved in, which is like 8 years ago now. I know, I'm a role model for people of, responsible home ownership, doing stuff like that. So, cleaned a section of the carpet, and the liquid that was left over afterwards was like Satan's vomit. It was just putrid. So, there's a little thing. If you got carpet in your home, apartment, wherever you happen to stay, just clean it every once in a while. Don't be like me. Don't do what I've done. I'm no role model, children. If you're listening, and I hope you're not, because I get up to cussing on here sometimes. You should go reevaluate your life, you tiny child. Watch some GoBots or something. I know they're still on somewhere. Some people would say Transformers, but considering what they've become, I'd say safe bet. As cheesy as it is, just go watch some old GoBots cartoons. You know what? Watch some old Transformers cartoons. Whatever. See if I care. Do what you want. Or not what you want. You're still a tiny child. I'm still talking to a tiny child. You know what? Forget it. Just go play some Pac-Mans or Marios. And just for the record, I do pronounce it Mario, not Mario. I know some people do that, and they're wrong. Looks like we're fully into the third panel here. We got Gilbert and Baxter on the old fuzzy couch, freaking out. Just loving that. I think I really enjoyed all the expressions in this comic. I don't any artist typically, unless you just love yourself to death, it can always nitpick their own stuff and find things wrong with it, and I always can. But this comic, I think most of it came out pretty darn good. I do kind of wish I had done more with Reggie's hands in the last frame, but other than that, mostly 99.9% pleased with how it came out. We got the symbiote being drawn on Reggie here, and if you followed the comic, you'll know I've peppered in Spider-Man here and there over the years. I used to collect a lot of Spider-Man comics back in the day. Can't really afford to keep up with it these days, but I still enjoy catching up with the old webhead when I can. When I had a pull list, I'd pull off everything, like Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. Back when there was just Ultimate Spider-Man, I pulled that. Web of Spider-Man, Sensational Spider-Man, Anachronistic Spider-Man, Fixed Rate Mortgage Spider-Man. Some of those may or may not be real titles, but I'm going to leave that to you to suss out. Because I ain't got time to be doing detective work. I got to draw comics and take some naps. Not necessarily in that order. Sometimes the naps come first. Because you got to get your energy up for those long days and hard nights of comicizing, however you want to say it. So, This is the last one of these videos is going up before Christmas. I don't know if you're celebrating Christmas or whichever holiday you're celebrating. I hope you're having a good one. I myself am doing Christmas with the lady and the kiddo this weekend. And it got me thinking about, Christmas is past. It's always like the fun family memories, but we're going to talk about the stuff y'all really want to know about. What kind of cool gifts do you get over the years? I'm going to tell you about a few of the things that I've really enjoyed getting for Christmas since my youth. And feel free to drop down in the comments. Tell me some of the cool stuff that you really remember getting for Christmas over the years. Or if you got a fun Christmas story, drop it in there. Let everybody know. So probably the earliest present I remember is back when we were real little. Me and my brother got these Inspector Gadget figures that were really cool. I mean, I think they had like cloth trench coats or something. This could all be false, but this is how I remember it. And they had a bunch of different accessories like the copter you could plug into the hat, extendable arms, legs, stuff like that. They were super awesome. I have no idea whatever happened to those guys. They may have succumbed to one of the many toy purges that my mom perpetrated over the years. Chances are they did. And again, they could be entirely a figment of my imagination. I could have just had a dream one time where I thought that, but I'm pretty 80 to 90% sure that I actually got that. And if not, the thought of it left a good enough impression on me that now I believe that I did. So there you go. Another really fun Christmas. This was like in the 90s, back in the height of the TMNT craze. My brothers and I all got one big collective present one year, which was just a box filled with Turtles action figures. We got, the four bros, Splinter, Shredder, Rocksteady, Bebop, Baxter Stockman, the whole nine. And we got the sewer layer. That was really awesome. Which, when you go back and look at a lot of those play sets these days, they're like 4 pieces of molded plastic just slapped together. And that's pretty much all this was. You put some stickers on it, but it had those cool sewer pipes that you could angle out the edges. Those things were awesome. It was like, right in line with the Ghostbusters, Firehouse playset from back when we were kids. That thing, again, just like 3, I think that was like 5 pieces of molded plastic. If you have the middle floor and the roof, and then you pour that weird smelling slime in on all the dudes, that thing was awesome. So that one was a really cool year. Then there was a year I was in high school, and I got my N64 for Christmas one year. I think I spent the rest of the day just hanging out in the basement playing Mario 64. Something I still do to this day from time to time, though. A lot of times I'm playing it on like Virtual Console, although I did get out and hook up the N64 again the other day. Had some buddies over, and we went back and played some GoldenEye and Mario Kart. And I gotta tell you, I don't know if there's input lag or something when you're playing on an HD TV with the older systems. I think I've heard that there is, but it's really noticeable in Mario Kart. If you don't plug it into a CRT, you're going to experience some weirdness in the driving on that game. Just let me tell you right up front. GoldenEye, it wasn't that weird. I think there was some weirdness with shooting the rocket launcher. It seemed like the flames didn't hit people as hard or something. I don't know. I could just be imagining that. It'd been a long time since I played GoldenEye, but that's still fun as hell. Both of those games, and just cracking out those old N64 controllers, which I take really good care of my equipment, and it doesn't matter how good you take care of an N64 controller. Eventually, the joystick is just going to become a wiggly jiggly mess. I mean, that is just a given. Especially if you're playing stuff like Mario Kart, where you have to flip that thing back and forth like a madman. It's going to get real jiggly real fast. But, that year, getting that N64 was amazing. Those are really the big gifts I remember getting over the years. I remember one year, this was before the N64, and this is a warning to those kids who I know are listening. Don't try to find your Christmas presents. If you do, it'll be bad. One year, this was the year I think I asked for like Mega Man Soccer or Mega Man 7, one of those two, for Christmas. And I got this wild idea in my head that I was going to go sneak and find it, and then play it, and then put it back, and then, whatever. And I ended up finding all the Christmas presents. And as cool as the game was, I think it was Mega Man Soccer, which, some people will tell you it's terrible, and there are parts of it that are, but I still enjoy playing that game. But I think it could be Mega Man 7. Now that I think about it. You know what? Before you tell a story, it's probably a good idea to remember what the actual freaking story is. Either way, found out what the Mega Man game was then. Don't know it now, apparently. But it was a fun one. Christmas that year, not so grand because you already know before you open everything up. You don't have any sense of surprise when you're cracking open those gifts. And maybe you love that. Maybe you don't want to be surprised ever. You got a fear of joy. In that case, go hunt them down. Suss them out. Find it. I don't suggest it. Here we go. We're filling in the fluid tanks on the old boy. I haven't gotten to the backgrounds yet. Got to color in that nacho cheese. You got to make sure you get just the perfect orange for the nachos. But we did, nutty stuff like kids do over the years. We were young, try to sleep under the tree, catch Santa Claus, a sleeping bag. It's never going to happen. Unless you're a really light sleeper as a kid, you might work that out. But I've never been a super light sleeper. Like, if I'm all the way into sleep, it wouldn't matter if you busted through the hole in my wall. I just have a giant hole in my wall. I don't know where it came from. Probably that time I invited the Kool-Aid Man over to visit. But no, if you just busted a hole in the wall in my room with a sledgehammer while I was asleep, it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't wake up. Oh, looks like somebody's busted in here. We've been interrupted by a tiny child who has no patience. What are you doing, kid? Now she's not gonna answer me. She's just gonna sit here and talk this whole time.
I really want to see that. What you wanted to show me on your iPad.
She wants to play a game on the iPad.
And I want you to show me what you did. What it was on the iPad.
Well, I told you I'm going to show you once I'm done with this. But now, I don't know. Because I don't know if I'll ever be done with this. Now, the recording will go on for infinity.
No.
Because you've come in and ruined it. You ruined it, child.
No, I had not.
You're right. It was already bad. But now it's worse.
No.
Alrighty. Now that the children have left the room, we can get down to talking about serious adult issues like income taxes. So basically, where we left off was figuring out what bracket you're in. And, no, seriously. If you couldn't tell from the rest of the audio on this and how kind of weird it sounds compared to the other videos, at the time of this recording, I am off hanging out with family members for the holidays, and so it's been really tough to get some good, clean audio laid down. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one a little short, and wish you all happy holidays wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Hope you're having a great and wonderful time, and I will catch up with you next week. So have a good one.